Hello students, welcome to today's class. In our previous class, we looked at the subject fighting political apathy. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at the topic public service. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to define and explain the meaning of public service. Also, you should be able to give some reasons for the shortcoming in public service, and also you should be able to explain some of the colonial influence, corruption, inconsistency of government policy that may have affected the growth of public service in Nigeria. Let us first of all look at the meaning of public service. Public service can be defined as the totality of administrative structure within which the day-to-day work or activities of government is carried out. It also means an organization established, managed, and financed by the government with the main aim of providing or rendering essential services to members of the public. It is made up of an organized body consisting of public servants and other appointed officials. What this simply means is that public service can be regarded as the engine room of government. They are the one who carry out day-to-day activities of government, and that simply means that if public service are not in place, government activities will not be carried out. More or less, when government plans have been made, to execute those plans in ensuring that the aims and objectives of government are met, it is the public service who ensure that all of these are in place. The public service is divided into civil service or ministries, the federal, state, and local government service, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Education, Works, etc. We also have public corporation, e.g. the Nigeria Airport Authority, Nigeria Port Authority, Nigeria Railway, etc. Government agencies, departments and parastatals, e.g. the National Orientation Agency, Standard Organization of Nigeria, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. All these are the altogether public service, even if they are already categorized. We have some into the ministries, we have some under the public corporations, we have some under the government agencies. But all of them put all together are there to ensure that the plans, aims, and objective of governance is actualized. Let us now look at principles or characteristics of the public service. One is permanence. Permanence in the sense that public service is permanent. Permanent in the way that government does not change or end public service. We could have different party in government. We could have the government of APC, we could have the government of PDP, we could have the government of any other party coming in when their candidate win an election to organize the government for the period of time that the constitution allow. But within this period, the public service will remain, and they will remain even after that period. So all government come to meet them and also leave them. That is why they are regarded as permanent. Another one is neutrality. Neutrality in the sense that they are neutral. They are not politicians. They don't take side with any political party. They are there simply to carry out the duties that is assigned to them. And they are also there to ensure that any government in power succeed in power. Another one is anonymity. Anonymity in the sense that they are to be seen but not to be heard. They don't come in to criticize or to talk about any government policies, as it were, within their time in office. Their major aim is to ensure that they do their part to ensure that any government in power succeed. Another one is impartiality. Impartiality in the sense that, like we earlier said, they don't take side, they are not partial. However they serve party A in government will also be the same way and manner they will serve party B in government. There are every tendency where a particular party will come to power this time, and after maybe 4 years another party wins an election and come in. They are there to render unbiased services to any of the political party that come in to organize the government for a period of time. Another one is ex-parties. Ex-parties in the sense that those that are employed into the public service to serve, they are those who have been trained in relevant subjects and discipline that is required to build the public service. That is why it is very important in that area. The another one there is merit system. Merit system in the sense that hierarchy in public service is based on merit. It's based on the fact that you deserve it. It's based on the fact that you have the required certificates and you have also, stay in the service to meet up with the required level that is needed before you are given the opportunity to rise to the next level. Another one is bureaucracy and red tapeism. Red tapeism or bureaucracy is more like a policy, a system that allows due process to be followed, that things are done in the way it should be. You don't cut corners, and for example, maybe a file needs to be signed. That file must follow all offices that is required for that file to be to become a valid and document, and the relevant persons that are to append their signature on that file must receive that file, and their signature must also be received. All of this is to ensure that the right thing is done at the process or within the process of time. Another one is structure of the public service in Nigeria. The public service is structured hierarchically in line with the British civil service. The minister head the federal ministries, and commissioner heading the state level. The change from permanent secretary to director general effected in Babangida administration in 1988 was reverted to permanent secretary in Abacha's administration in 1996. The following is the structure of the public service. One is administrative class. This is the highest class, and it includes the DG or permanent secretaries, deputy directors, etc. They advise the minister or commissioner on policy formulation. Number 2 is executive class. This class includes the executive officers and their assistants. Number 3 is the professional / technical / specialist class. These classes of workers are employed into the civil service based on their profession. In this aspect, you get to see those that are doctors, engineers, and so on and so forth. The other one is clerical class. This class is made up of clerical officers that carried out routine jobs. These include the typist, the clerical assistants, computer operators, the stenographer, etc. And we now have the manipulative / auxiliary class. This class is mainly the least paid workers in the public service. They are electrician, plumber, laboratory assistants, bricklayers, carpenters, etc. So that is the lowest level in public service. Now look at the function of the public service. The following are some of the functions of the public service. 1. They provide information for the formulation of government policies. They help to implement, enforce, and execute economic, political, social, and other government policies and programs. They help to educate citizens on government policies. They provide useful information and advice to political heads in running their various ministries. They take custody of all document, files, record, and all properties of government. They provide information that is needed in the preparation and execution of annual budgets. They act as bridge between the government and the general public in the dissemination of information. Look at control of public service. The public service can be controlled through the following. 1. Legislative control. There are times the legislators call the various persons head of various departments. Could be the permanent secretary, could be the minister or the commissioner, as the case may be in the state level, to come and give report of how his ministry is faring. They will now also have the general order. There are times policies are also made that are also in a way of order to the various ministries to follow. They will also have public service commission control. There is a commission called Public Service Commission that actually regulates both employment, promotion, salary structure, recruitment, and so on and so forth. That also has a way it controls the public service. We now have the pressure group. The pressure group are organized group of people who also come in one way or the other to influence government to make policies in their own interest. So this can also influence and control how the public service are run. We also have the ministerial control. The various ministers coming in with their various ideology to push or move the public service forward. We also have the hierarchical control. Based on hierarchy, we also have some control coming either from above and so on and so forth. We have reasons for shortcoming of the public service. Some of the reasons why the public service has failed to meet the expectation of the general public include the following. 1 is the bureaucracy / red tapeism. Like we earlier said, bureaucracy / red tapeism is a type of policy that allow due process to be followed. Most of the time, some people abuse the pattern and method that this actually is supposed to be applied, and that is actually what sometimes lead to infects in the area of administration, or that end up affecting the smooth running of administration. 2 is bribery and corruption, which has taken a kind of a toll on the country progress. It's becoming a major thing that is destroying the country. Another one is poor working condition and tools / equipment. When you also have the working environment not in order, things are not in order, that can also affect the attitude of people in the working place. Negative attitude to work. You also have some people who just think with this mentality that government work is something you don't put on your head except you put it on your shoulder. So such people come to work, they are really not serious to do what is needed to push the work forward. Another one is political instability / political interference. This is another issue, political instability. When a new government come in, they want to do something different and so on and so forth. That has always affect the progress of public service. Another one is overstaffing, lack of well-trained personnel. Overstaffing, situation whereby 4 persons is needed in a particular job, you are putting 10 persons, you are putting 15 persons because you want to satisfy your political godfather. That also can affect the progress that would have been recorded. Another thing is that lack of well-trained personnel. Instead of putting the right persons there to do the work, they are putting in those that were recommended by godfathers. That has gone a long way to affect the progress of public service. this is all we are going to take in this lesson. In our next class, we'll continue with a new topic. I'll see you in my next class.